on Netflix from 1989, I watched Ghostbusters 2. This is a movie I ain't been seen in a while. But I watched it in theaters. I think I actually saw it towards the end of the year. You know, movies used to play in theaters longer than they do today. I don't know if you kids know about that. You didn't have to watch a movie opening weekend. I think this opened the same weekend as Batman, which I saw opening weekend in 1989. The first live action film I saw in a theater. And then I saw Ghostbusters 2 like later on, probably closer to my birthday, in December I'm thinking. But I was really up on the Ghostbusters. The first movie was awesome. The cartoon was great. And I think that, you know, this movie kind of takes some note from the cartoon. It's, Winston Zeddemor's character no longer has a mustache, so he's trying to look like the Winston in the cartoon. Hell, you might have a tough time recognizing him, actually. But, you know, maybe there's more kids appeal to it. You have a slime thing. Sigourney Weaver's character has a kid, Oscar. Now, this is played by twins, as is typically the case with movies. Let's head this way. And one of these twins killed himself, I believe, lately. If I'm wrong, tell me below in the comments. I think that was a few months ago. You know, that's unfortunate, but hey, you could definitely tell he's one of the babies in this. Oscar certainly looked that way as an adult, actually. Same hairline. Oh, Vaughn, why'd you have to go do that, right? So anyways, this movie's a bit of a letdown compared to the original Ghostbusters. It's not nearly as funny. You can feel it's quite palatable, Bill Murray's disgruntled behavior here. I've seen things saying that he didn't want to be in the suit, so he only shows up in the Ghostbuster suit at the end. And it's like, you're a freaking Ghostbuster. If anybody gets to be cool dressing up as Ghostbuster, it's Bill Murray, and he declines that. You know, that's like Luke Skywalker. Oh, hey, so I did the first movie, it made all this money. I don't really want to do the second one, or if I do, can I change the character's name and just be like a reluctant Dr. Skywalker? You know, like, Mark Hamill embraced the character. Bill Murray acts like he's above everything, especially his meal ticket. So, if there's any bad blood between anyone here, like, say if Dan Aykroyd was upset, because this was like Dan Aykroyd's baby. He wrote the Ghostbusters. You know, it's kind of his brainchild. And here's Bill Murray, just like, oh shit, I'll do other stuff. Well, they have the whole gang here, but they're all doing a few different things. We got like Ray and Winston. They're doing kids' birthday parties, showing up singing the Ghostbusters song from the original movie, which I was high up on. That was like my favorite song to listen to as a kid. But it's played up here as not cool, and they'd rather have they're like party pals showing up for these kids' birthday parties. And they're like, no, we want a He-Man. You know, I've seen things saying that He-Man was one of the biggest toy lines in the 80s. All this I never gave a shit about He-Man. I was all about them Ghostbusters, then Ninja Turtles. And then by the time Ninja Turtles ends, I really faded out of the action hero stuff so much. But, or the toy lines, you know. But, anyways, yeah, Peter Venkman Bill Murray, has some kind of talk show where he's talking to people, and, you know, he's speaking to people who claim that they can predict the future, they know when the world's going to end, and yeah, it's a shallow existence. Sigourney Weaver has this kid, and she's pushing around a stroller, a little infant kid, Oscar. The stroller goes haywire. She has to chase it around. People are really fuming mad at New York. And it's like, isn't that normal New York behavior, just be angry at everybody and everything? But they find out that there was some hole in the ground, some ooze that was drawing the baby near. And they investigate this, and it's this river of slime, and it's a mood slime. So it's like negatively charged, makes everybody angry and hostile. But you can also positively charge it, you know. Say nice things, make positive things happen. You can do that as well. Shit, I'm getting sick of the hoodie not staying up. What am I doing wrong with the hoodie? Is it just not able to withstand Kansas wind here? So, oh my god, is that a snake? Anyways, yeah. Back on topic here. The slime is gathering strength in New York City. All the while, there's this creepy painter guy overseeing this art museum where Sigourney Weaver works. Oh, it's not enough that she played in the symphony. Now she's an artist doing restorations. There's some big painting that came in. I think they said his name was like Vigo. I thought I was gonna have a hard time remembering that, and then it's like ingrained in me. Anyways, this guy's like stuck in this painting, but he's like this conqueror, and the slime is going to activate his ghost or something like this. The Ghostbusters have kind of been dissolved, but they're inspecting the situation here with the mood slime and whatever. They end up getting arrested, and they're out on trial, and Winston's not there. It's like Winston can only show up once they really get the act together. Yeah, I feel kind of bad for him, but oh man, I forgot the actor's name. Shit, now I feel even worse for him. I'll probably find some allergies too. So, on top of all this, during this trial, the state of New York says it doesn't recognize the existence of ghosts, even though all the shit that happened 5 years earlier. What they say their name was, like Scolari brothers, the judge is sentenced, come up out of nowhere and start fighting in the courtroom. The Ghostbusters get their proton packs, put them away, and it's like, okay, fine, charges dropped, whatever. Now they're allowed to go fight this stuff. You know, they're investigating, they go into the tunnel, and it seems like Bill Murray is doing anything but being a Ghostbuster. He's over there hitting on Sigourney Weaver, talking about how they didn't work out. She's like, every time she wanted to get married, he'd say no. Then she found some other guy, divorced him, and has this kid. Yeah, that really worked out for you, didn't it, Sigourney? Louis Tully was their lawyer. You know, he like lived across the hall from Sigourney Weaver in the last movie, but now they kind of like made pals with him. He's lawyer. He's also dating Janine, their secretary. And it's kind of unfortunate. You know, if anybody didn't return, maybe it'd be Janine. Wouldn't you think maybe she moved on to something bigger? But no, still secretary for Ghostbusters. Totally available for the Ghostbusters secretary job. But, you know, I really like Annie Potts. Even in this movie, she was one of the brighter things. There was this fake commercial in the film where they're advertising her services, and you could tell she got like a word wrong and tried to correct it mid-word, and really sold that, and that was one of the funnier parts. But she also has a different look. She looks more like the kind of punk girl that was the Janine in the real Ghostbusters cartoon from '86. Yeah, so now instead of seemingly getting together with Egon, she's with Louis Tully. Arguably better paid, since he's a lawyer in New York City. Can't blame her. Their house setting for Sigourney Weaver, and Oscar gets kidnapped by her boss from the museum that she rebuffed the advances of. And I guess he can take a ghost form and come pick up the kid, and there's all these other ghosts around town. You know, the slime has reached critical mass. The Titanic has been resurrected. Weird stuff. Well, they found out that the slime could like animate objects. So it's like, okay, does it summon the ghost to reappear? To make the ghost thing hot again? And then it can make things animate? Because the baby got taken to the museum to be the new Vigo. Like, he was going to put his soul in the baby, and then they're going to raise him or something. I don't know. But the Ghostbusters go and get like Nintendo sticks. They like what Advantage D-pad, and they go to the Statue of Liberty, try to get this big symbol of hope going, and they got music playing. They're trying to cheer everybody's mood up, and they come walking in, and it's not an awful looking effect. I can actually see this looking worse today with CGI. And they head to the museum. Louis totally thinks that he saved the day at one point because he blasted the outer crust that was of the jelly that was keeping the museum confined. And yeah, well, I don't know if much worked out for him, but anyways, they battle Vigo. They're squirting him with positively charged slime and the proton packs, and it works. You know, it's as simple as that. And that's the way it is for the Ghostbusters. Once you identify your enemy, boom, it's that simple, right? So you could kind of sleep through this one since it's not particularly funny and therefore less engaging. And I thought a lot of the fun in the original was there was some scariness with the ghosts. There was a creepy factor, but even on top of that, it was like people having to deal with the ghosts. The Ghostbusters catching their first ghost, not knowing all these ins and outs. I've been slimed. Now Slimer drives a bus to help Louis get to the museum. So, you know, there was like questions raised. There was creepy things going on. Now it's the Ghostbusters are bored with it. And if your heroes are bored with the movie, then what are you going to be as the audience member, right? Yeah, the Ghostbusters saved the day. The music's not as good. There's a track that's not too bad by the guy who survived Whitney Houston. But it's not a completely awful movie. It's certainly a mixed movie. Made money. Cost like what, $37 million, made like $200 million. Oh, but that's considered disappointment, a bomb, because it didn't make like what, the 300 or so that the original movie made. Hollywood. No more Ghostbusters. The spiritual sequel is a video game, which I've been meaning to play. But yeah, Ghostbusters 2 from 1989, I give it 2 out of 4 stars.